Why do you think storytelling is so powerful for creating transformation, Joe?
Oh, that's such a good question. Oh my goodness. This is the psychology of humankind. We live and breathe with the stories we tell. That's how we communicate. That's how we grow. That's how we persuade. That's how we teach. That's how we pass down information from generation to generation. Way before books, it was simply with oral tradition. It was simply stories. Only recently, one thing led to another. These are symbols and meaningful synchronicities taking place in my life. And I was brought over to Leo Tolstoy. And I had never read any of Tolstoy's material ever. I mean, I knew who he was, War and Peace and Anna Karenina and all of this. And I was led to a story and I read the story and I was like fried. Who in the world writes stories this magnificent? And then I went and bought a collection of his short stories. And every time I would read one, I would go, this is stunning. This is legendary. This is miraculous. My God, Tolstoy was beyond belief. He was almost supernatural in his ability to write. But what was he writing? He was writing stories. And what was he trying to communicate? He had become a Christian in later life, as I understand it. I'm not an expert on Tolstoy at all, but with my superficial top level look at his life, he had been converted and he was trying to write morality tales. He was trying to help people live in the moment, do the right thing, obey God, all of this. And how was he doing it? Through stories. Why was he using stories? Because stories stick. Stories are how we connect and how we understand. If I just rattled off a whole bunch of facts to you, you may or may not remember any of them, but most likely none of them will mean anything because I just told you a story about me and my story discovering Tolstoy. You will probably be more interested in remembering this, and you'll probably remember the idea of stories, and you might even get up and go read a Tolstoy story after this, all because of a story.
Absolutely. And the book that you've got behind you of the autobiography of a yogi,
Yes.
I already had that book and I hadn't read it yet. And
Oh,
I moved house a few months ago and I can't find it. But because of your interview with Lalitha, I bought it
yes.
again instead of waiting to
Ah,
find it. But yeah, I'm a
well,
book lover.
let's
I'm
let's
a
bring
book
this
geek.
let's bring this full circle. How did I discover Tolstoy? In Autobiography of a Yogi.
Oh, wow.
Yogananda has a chapter called The Law of Miracles. And he begins it by quoting a story from Tolstoy. That was the story that intrigued me because I thought, well, if Yogananda read Tolstoy, I should read something by Tolstoy. That's when I went and found the story that Yogananda referenced in his book, Autobiography of a Yogi.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, I was down this other road, and I still am on the Tolstoy road because I newly discovered it. So this is how the synchronicities take place when you're in the flow. It just happened again because if you needed reinforced to go read Autobiography of a Yogi, it just happened.
It did. He flashed out at me on your shelf as well when you were talking to me.
Right?